of American Family News. I'm Rusty Pugh. The Supreme Court hearing arguments on Joe Biden's $400 billion student loan bailout. But here's how Randi Weingarten, the head of the second largest teachers union, feels about it.
During the pandemic, we understood that small businesses were hurting, and we helped them, and it didn't go to the Supreme Court to challenge it. Big businesses were hurting, and we helped them, and it didn't go to the Supreme Court to challenge it. All of a sudden, when it's about our students, they challenge it.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha reacts to that spectacle.
Mike Pompeo said not too long ago that Randi Weingarten was the most dangerous person in the world. As a parent who saw my young kids in completely ineffective remote learning on iPads, and being in masks for months, many months after the data and the science said schools were safe, Randi Weingarten at least is in the top 4 seeds in my bracket as far as dangerous people in the country. And let's put aside the fact that she sounds like a hybrid of Howard Dean meets Rashida Tlaib outside the Supreme Court, right? Student loan forgiveness, which is what she was arguing about, is a complete sham. It's an effort to buy votes.
Constitutional law expert Jonathan Turley says Biden has tried to turn this into the biggest debt forgiveness plan in history with no legal authority.
The problem is that there's little basis for confidence on the merits of this case. The administration has stretched the HEROES Act to an absolutely bizarre extent. This was a 5-page law designed to help military personnel who were in arrears on their student loans. The president is using this as the largest loan forgiveness plan in history. At one point, the president suggested that he passed this by 1 vote, which left all of us scratching our heads, because the problem is nothing like this was passed by Congress. It couldn't be passed by Congress, and the president knows it.
A former CDC director says clearly the origin of COVID was a leak from the Wuhan lab in China. The White House continues to say there is no consensus on the origin of the virus. But Dr. Robert Redfield reacts to the U.S. Energy Department report assessing that the COVID-19 pandemic likely originated from a lab leak in China.
Both the FBI and now the Department of Energy have come to the conclusion that they believe this virus came from the Wuhan lab. They have an enormous, powerful scientific workforce. I think that clearly the origin of this virus was a leak from the Wuhan lab, and eventually that will, people will come to realize that.
Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher thinks he knows why the administration continues to insist there is no consensus.
I fundamentally don't understand it, other than there's so many members of our public health and scientific elite who have for decades pursued cooperation with Chinese scientists, in particular funded gain-of-function research, and they don't want that to stop, and they don't want to admit that they're wrong. If we were acting rationally, we would prohibit all future funding for gain-of-function research, and we wouldn't allow people to experiment with naturally occurring coronavirus to make them more chimeric in a lab.
Dr. Marty McCary of Johns Hopkins University Medical School says public health officials have lost all credibility.
Well, look, I think it's true. Right now we have a massive distrust in public health as public health officials close schools, they pushed mass toddlers, they downplayed myocarditis after the vaccine. All of these things are now being debunked with new research. You saw the big study on natural immunity, that it's at least as effective as vaccine immunity. When you say the wrong thing for so long after the evidence is apparent, you lose credibility. And I worry that vaccination rates in children are going to go down. Public health trust is going to go down. Why don't we hear all of our public health officials call for a once-and-for-all international ban of all gain-of-function research?
Wall Street closed out a frigid February with more losses on Tuesday. The S&P 500, the Dow, and the NASDAQ all sank over the month. More news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Here at KNVBC, we're very grateful to the American Family Radio for allowing us to broadcast their Christian news free of charge. And we encourage you to listen to this brief word from AFA.
It's been obvious for a long time that the mainstream media has a bias against the conservative evangelical viewpoint. Now big tech internet giants like Facebook, Twitter, and Google have flexed their muscles, and their power is staggering. If you're tired of being manipulated and programmed, it's time to take action. Find out what you can do. Please take the time to read Dr. Michael Brown's article From Gulag to Google at afa.net/The Stand. afa.net/The Stand.
Good morning. This is March the 1st.
Morning by morning, new mercies I see.
Awake, O north wind, and come thou south. Blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Song of Solomon 4:16. Anything is better than the dead calm of indifference. Did not the spouse in this verse humbly submit herself to the reproofs of her beloved? She entreated him to send forth his grace in some form, making no stipulation as to the peculiar manner in which it should come. Did not she, like ourselves, become so utterly weary of deadness that she sighed for any visitation which would brace her to action? Yet she desires comfort, too, the smiles of divine love, the joy of the Redeemer's presence. These are often mightily effectual to arouse our sluggish life. She desires either one or the other, or both, so that she may be able to delight her beloved with the spices of her garden. She cannot endure to be unprofitable, nor can we. How cheering a thought that Jesus can find comfort in our poor, feeble graces. It seems far too good to be true. The wisdom of the great husbandman overrules diverse and opposite causes to produce the one desired result. It makes both affliction and consolation draw forth faith, love, patience, hope, resignation, joy, and the other fair flowers of the garden. May we know by sweet experience what this means.
Morning by morning, new mercies I see.
Join us each day at this time for Morning by Morning, Daily Devotionals by Charles Spurgeon, read by Brother Ed Russ.
Hello, this is Christopher Sturgill from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and you're listening to KNVBC Revival Radio.
radio home for the old-time religion.
I found a friend who is all to me. His love is ever true. I love to tell how he lifted me and what his grace can do for you. Saved by his power divine, saved to new life sublime. Life now is sweet and my joy is complete, for I'm saved, saved, saved. When poor and needy and all alone, in love he said to me, come on to me and I'll lead you home to live with me eternally. Saved by his power divine, saved to new life sublime. Life now is sweet and my joy is complete, for I'm saved, saved, saved. If you could see what I once was, if you could go with me back to where I started from, then I know you would see a miracle of love that took me in its sweet embrace and made me what I am today, a sinner saved by grace. I'm just a sinner saved by grace, when I stood condemned to death, he took my place. Now I grow and breathe in freedom with each breath of life I take, loved and forgiven, back with the living. I'm just a sinner saved by grace. How could I boast of anything I've ever seen or done? How could I dare to claim as mine the victories God has won? Where would I be had God not brought me gently to this place? I'm here to say I'm nothing but a sinner saved by grace. I'm just a sinner saved by grace, when I stood condemned to death, he took my place. Now the cross. We found mercy when we knelt at the cross.
The cross of Christ, it stands alone, the only way a soul finds home, no other way but God's own Son. The cross of Christ, it stands alone. The cross of Christ shall be my way to see my God on that bright day. I'll ever praise the work it's done. The cross of Christ, it stands alone. The cross of Christ built for me, an instrument of agony. He shed his blood for sin's great price. Rose again and gave me life. The cross of Christ, it stands alone. He is not there, but on his throne. My voice will join with heaven's throng and sing his cross. It stands alone. The cross of Christ, built for me, an instrument of agony. He shed his blood for sin's great price. Rose again and gave me life. The cross of Christ, it stands alone, the only way a soul finds home, no other way but God's own Son. The cross of Christ, it stands alone. The cross of Christ built for me, an instrument of agony. He shed his blood for sin's great price. He rose again and gave me life. The cross of Christ built for me, an instrument of agony. He shed his blood for sin's great price. He rose again and gave me life. The cross of Christ, the cross of Christ, the cross of Christ. In a world perfectly made, God placed his most cherished creation
treasured possession, his reflection. But man turned himself away, refused his love, fell into darkness. Then his love reached through the night and dawned a brand new day. Then came Jesus, my salvation. Then came Jesus, the Son of God, his gift of love. Now my soul is pure, my heart set free. I can live eternally with Jesus because he can. Because he so many alone, weary of sin, living in fear of dying in darkness, years wasted in gaining worthless possessions, an obsession, lost but wandering on, looking for love in all the wrong places. Then his love reached through the night and touched the heart of man. Then came Jesus, my salvation. Then came Jesus, the Son of God, his gift of love. Now my soul is pure, my heart set free. I can live eternally with Jesus because he can. Because he Now my soul is pure, my heart set free. I can live eternally with Jesus because he can. Because he O thou blessed rock of ages, I am trusting now, dear Lord, in thee. Dear Lord, in thee I'm trusting. Keep me till my journey's ended. Journey's ended. Keep me till thy blessed face I see. When my journey is completed, Savior, and there's no more work to I see in glory when the storm around me rages, round me rages, blessed rock of ages, hide thou me.
You're listening to KNVBC's Top 100 playlist. These songs have been chosen from our listeners. You can rate songs and tell us your favorites too. Just download our free KNVBC app on Android and iOS and rate your favorite selections.
Lately I've been through some testing and trials. Felt like a detour that went on for miles. But standing here now looking back, I can say, Lord, I'm thankful. Some storms I thought I would never survive, but here I am feeling so strong and alive. The darkness is past and the morning is bright, and I'm thankful. Lord, I'm thankful like David after Goliath, like Paul and Silas after the jail. I'm thankful like Daniel after the lions. Lord, I'm thankful. Thankful like Noah back on dry ground. Thankful like Lazarus finally unwound. Every beat of my heart wants to pound. I'm thankful, Lord, I'm thankful. I've battled giants of failure and fear, shadows of doubt where my hope was unclear. But all along, Lord, you were hovering near, and I'm thankful. All the sins of my past were a thundering roar that echoed the guilt that I could not ignore. But it's nailed to the cross, and I hear it no more. I'm thankful. Lord, I'm thankful like David after Goliath, like Paul and Silas after the jail. I'm thankful like Daniel after the lions. Lord, I'm thankful. Thankful like Noah back on dry ground. Thankful like Lazarus finally unwound. Every beat of my heart wants to pound. I'm thankful, Lord, I'm thankful. Thankful like David after Goliath, like Paul and Silas after the jail. I'm thankful like Daniel after the lions. Lord, I'm thankful. Thankful like Noah back on dry ground. Thankful like Lazarus finally unwound. Every beat of my heart wants a pound. I'm thankful, Lord, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
The church has been silent while the world raised its voice. In loud and angry tones they took the lead. But all across creation, there's a rumbling in the hills as the chosen ones of God stand up to make his message known. I'm gonna shout it from the housetops, proclaim it from the mountaintops, tell the world around me Jesus saves. I have made my choice, I'm gonna make a joyful noise, the world will hear my voice, Jesus saves.
The rocks and hills were ready to proclaim the Savior's might, but the Spirit of the Lord said they should wait.
You see, God knew his children were ready to march on and proclaim his word throughout the land and seal the devil's fate. But the world still tells us daily that God is not alive and salvation's plan is just a fairy tale.
But their lies don't change the truth.
Jesus died for you, and the word says his returning could happen any day. I'm gonna shout it from the housetops, proclaim it from the mountaintops, tell the world around me Jesus saves. I have made my choice, I'm gonna make a joyful noise, the world will hear my voice, Jesus saves. We have heard the joyful sound, Jesus saves, Jesus saves. Spread the tidings all around, Jesus saves, Jesus saves. I'm gonna shout it from the housetops, proclaim it from the mountaintops, tell the world around me Jesus saves. I have made my choice, I'm gonna make a joyful noise, the world will hear my voice, Jesus saves. The world will hear my voice, Jesus saves. The world will hear my voice, Jesus saves. Jesus saves.
Hanging here on a tree on dark Calvary, there's a man hanging see in thee. My yesterdays are in shambles, the grave my destiny. This my song through endless ages, throughout all eternity. Tell me, what did he ever? Tell me, what did he ever? Oh, tell me, what did he ever see in
Thanks for listening to KNVBC's Top 100. Let us know your favorites by giving them a thumbs up on our free KNVBC apps.
With a heart for God and country, we're KNVBC,